Welcome to Podcast Like It's the 2000s, the podcast where we talk about the films of the odds here from our perch in 2026. I'm one of your hosts, Phil Lisco.
I'm your other host, Emily St. James. And a fun fact about me is that, you know how there's like only like three Shakers left? I am the only living practitioner of the Witches in Nature's Colors
Oh,
Coven.
interesting. Interesting.
I'm the
I could
only
see
one
it.
left.
I could see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
North Dakota, the North Dakota sector.
The South Dakota
Sex.
sector. Thank
Sex.
you.
Sorry. I knew it was a Dakota. Don't I get points for that?
No,
No.
that's the wrong one. It's a 50-50 shot.
I mean, yeah. With us today to continue our miniseries on Christopher Guest's 2000s films is the author of Miss May Does Not Exist, The Life and Work of Elaine May. Carrie Courogen's here to talk A Mighty Wind with us. A movie that, Emily, I had no idea was so in the Carrie DNA in terms of, well, we'll talk about this. It is, I should have guessed that it was, but I didn't really realize until we were texting about this. And I was like, yeah, no, this makes sense.
I haven't been very vocal about it.
But I mean, in terms of its subject matter and in terms of its sort of the sort of a fractured romantic musician component that seems Carrie Core in a lot of ways.
Said it once, I'll say it a million times. Made in a lab for a Carrie movie.
Did you see this in theaters, Emily?
No, I've seen this movie maybe twice.
Okay.
And yet,
yes,
watching it this time, I was like, I've had this stuck in my head for decades and don't know why. This movie is more formative to me than Best in Show or Guffman. Guffman is maybe slightly more because I was a theater kid, but like this movie just like is has embedded itself in me. I for years have gotten a song stuck in my head and I haven't known what it was. And I've been like, what the fuck is that? It's Loco Man. It's Loco Man, the Folksman's beloved number.
I mean,
so
the
that mystery
are
solved.
Catchy.
Yeah.
The songs are so catchy.
The songs are really catchy. I mean, it is. I have a pretty vivid recollection of when this came out. So it comes out in 2003, despite Carrie thinking it was 2004. It is 2003.
It's 2003. I know.
It is 2003.
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect. It is a movie that I felt like, because of the Spinal Tap corollary, I think might have had, and obviously, you know, people really love Best in Show and Waiting for Guffman. I feel like the expectations on this one were probably the highest that Guest had within this run. And I do wonder if some people, we talked about this a little bit, Emily, when we had Catherine on for Best in Show, about how like the earnestness and the kind of heartfeltness of this movie, I think, might have surprised people and they weren't sure what to do with it.
I don't think like anyone was expecting any of these movies to be like a blockbuster hit. This movie made 3 times its budget, which is pretty impressive. I don't know. I remembered this movie coming out. Here's where I got something wrong. Remembered it coming out in the fall and being like, not a legit Oscar contender, but one of those movies that gets released in September, October to like hope for a Golden Globe nomination. But no, it came out in April. This is an April movie, which is kind of a weird window, but also not a bad one. You know, it's kind of smart counter programming.
Yeah. Although, you know, hindsight being what it is, and to your point, Emily, you know, this does get an Oscar nomination.
Yep.
For Best Song. And I do kind of wonder if it comes out in more of the kind of fall Oscar corridor, if this might have got another one or two. You know what I mean? Like this movie is more sort of, I think what we're kind of getting at is there's more here. There's a little bit more substantive than previous.
I think if this movie had come out in September, it would have defeated Return of the King for Best Picture. Like that feels obvious to me.
It's pretty obvious. So Carrie, you saw this movie when you were how old?
12 years old, Phil.
So you're 12 years old. You're chomping at the bit to see A Mighty Wind.
I just vividly remember in the next town over, there was this like old movie theater that had second run programming, and we just called it like the $2 movies because they were $2 tickets.
Sure.
Incredible. Can you imagine going to the
What a,
movies for $2
what a world.
now?
Oh,
$2.
and seeing it on
Um,
film,
and
nonetheless.
seeing it on film.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way I went alone. I'm 99% sure my dad took me because my dad liked Christopher Guest movies. But again, like Mandela Effect, I was visiting my parents in February, and we were like looking for a movie to watch, and they like were on Netflix because that's where they're like, there's something on Netflix. And so they have all of the guest movies up, and my parents are like, my dad's like watching the preview that starts auto playing for Guffman, and he's like, I said, oh, we should. I was like, you want to rewatch that? And he's like, oh, I never saw it. And he's like, you're full of shit. There is no way you never saw this.
He's old, he doesn't remember,
Yeah, but anyway,
But then I
yes,
feel like you posted about this, right? You watched it and they fell asleep or something like
I
that.
watched it and they fell asleep. They
Listen,
not only like barely laughed. I mean, my dad chuckled here and there, but like my parents are the kind of like people who I show them a lot of movies that I even now I've learned to whittle it down to ones that I genuinely think they would like, and not just like you need to watch this for your media diet. And they still like will watch something and they'll be like, well, that was weird stuff.
well, Emily,
Huh.
I feel like with Guffman in particular,
Mhm.
you felt a little bit like that movie was, looking down its nose at perhaps a region of the country that you.
I've never really felt that way with Guffman.
Okay,
I
sorry.
like, certainly there are elements of it where I feel that way, but it is a pretty accurate representation of being in a community theater in many ways. Like its humor is not particularly specific to a region. I
Mm-hmm.
do think there's an inkling of it in Best in Show. It's
Mm-hmm.
never, it overtakes the movie and never like throws me out of it, but there is a little bit of it. And then there's I think quite a bit of it in For Your Consideration, which is granted not a movie about like small towns or anything, but like its depiction of like
Thought a bit about
kind
anything.
of the Hollywood ideas about this is very odd. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Mhm.
I think also, you know, one of the successes of This Is Spinal Tap, which is a brilliant movie, and
Mhm.
R.I.P. Rob Reiner, is the rockumentary, right? Like the taking sort of that staple of the 60s and 70s of how many sort of fly on the wall documentaries there were about musicians and bands and all of that, and sort of taking the piss out of that.
Mhm.
And this is doing a little bit of that, not as much, because there's first of all there's a bunch of different musicians, so it isn't sort of focused on one. And it also feels like it's not that it's disinterested perhaps in the show itself, like the concert itself, but it's a little bit kind of like, they'll play music at the end, but like I feel like it's sort of a byproduct, if that makes sense. Whereas with Spinal Tap, it feels like you're really in the guts of a band, and you're really sort of the creative process is not what this movie's about. It's not about them making songs.
Yeah. I'm going to say something so controversial that's so brave.
Right.
I think I prefer this to Spinal Tap. A movie that
Which I get.
I've
I
never
get it.
entirely locked into. Like
Yeah.
I love it and I
Mm-hmm.
recognize its importance to cinema history, but like I didn't see it until I was like 30. And I was like, this is
Right.
good. Like it had been so thoroughly like
No,
ripped
totally.
off by that point. Yeah. So this movie, I just saw at a formative enough age to get Loco Man stuck in my head for over 2 decades.
Forever.
I
What are your
mean,
thoughts on Spinal Tap, Carrie?
I feel like I feel the same way where I came to Spinal Tap knowing the hype and like kind of late in the game. I think I was like in college and just kind of like, yeah, this is obviously a great movie. This is obviously hysterical and so good. And like, yes, like you said, taking the piss out of a rock documentary. And there is a tighter focus, I think, in Spinal Tap um than in Mighty Wind.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I just again, I saw Mighty Wind at a formative age, and I kind of like that it is like a little warmer and gooier.
Absolutely. I would argue first of all, I agree with you guys. I also saw Spinal Tap relatively late in the game. I think I saw it probably, I don't know, my early 20s is my guess, I think. And I remember also feeling like I hadn't seen anything like it before. It, you know what I mean? I could understand why it was important. I definitely saw it prior to seeing any of the Chris Guest movies. So it was sort of more groundbreaking for me. Um, that being said, I think that this movie and watching it this time, I think I was just, I mean, first and foremost, with us having lost Catherine O'Hara, you're going to watch this film, which already has a pretty, you know, hard on its sleeve kind of component, and then mix into it having lost her. It's just that much more emotional, but it's just got, it's just trying to do more. You know what I mean? Like it's actually like trying to have like human characters. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that, and we talked about this, Emily, a little bit on our Best in Show episode, but it's a shame that the last joke is the last joke of this movie. It's kind of a bummer note to go out on.
I'm going
Uh,
to say something so controversial and so brave.
for the second time in one episode, Emily.
Which is that the joke, they were right to do the joke. It was good. Everyone should laugh. No, I don't actually think that, but like I
Yeah.
had read the plot summary of this in the middle of doing our Best in Show episode and was
Sure,
like, oh
sure.
wait, I forgot about that. And I was bracing myself for like vintage 2000s transphobia, and it's very gentle. It's
Oh,
not,
totally.
it's
Yeah.
like it is a loving,
Uh-huh.
it is affectionate toward that character. Is the punchline, oh now
Mhm.
she's thinks she's a woman, you know, that like that old vibe. Yes, but like it's his, like the characters, I can't remember the names of any of the folksmen, but like
I know what you're saying.
the other folksmen are like, okay, you know, we don't understand this, but we're going with
Jerry
it.
and Alan. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I agree. Yeah.
it's such an, it is a less, I do think it's helped in my mind by Christopher Guest being good about his own trans kid. And also, I was researching this and found out that when they did interviews for this movie as the folksman, Harry Shearer was in character, in drag, as this character, and like would do all press as her, and like asked, you
Uh-huh.
know, to be addressed that way, which is strange, but indicates the level to which they were like not trying to mock this character so
Sure.
much as be like, isn't this weird? Which is better than like basically any
Yeah.
other 2000s comedy.
It doesn't feel like a, I know what you're saying. I did not know that about Harry Shearer, which I sort of respect. Like it's
I
a
don't.
commitment to the bit.
I
I
have
don't
no
know.
I
idea how to
remember
feel about it. Yeah,
I
go ahead.
remember reading that like they did a tour
Yes,
after
they
the
did.
movie. Like,
Yes.
oh God. Can you imagine?
It would have been
Why
something.
wasn't I there?
Yeah.
But they
I
did a
mean,
tour and
for
he
real.
performed
Yep. Mhm.
performed in character because they were like, this is theoretically picking up on these characters after the
Yeah.
movie has ended, and this is where this character is at in her journey.
So it should
But
be said, and I didn't know this, and I have not seen the original Folksman
Hmm.
sketch from season 10 of SNL,
Okay.
November 3rd, 1984. Guest and Shearer were reportedly, they were cast members of the show. McKean was the host of that episode, and they did a sketch as the Folksman. And then the Folksman later appeared in Spinal Tap's 1992 TV special, The Return of Spinal Tap. So the Folksmen have been around for a bit, at least sort of in their kind of what have you. So it's not a surprise to see that they kind of, not that they built a movie around them necessarily, but that a world would kind of crop up in that sort of uh, what have you sandbox that they created. But I I agree with you, Emily, that the lead up, the talking head sequence of the three of them, not to go to the end first, but whatever,
Mhm.
of the three of them, it is McKean and Guest. They seem perplexed. They don't
Yeah.
seem upset about it. They just don't really get it, if you know what I'm
There,
saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is like a very common reaction that people had to a loved one coming out as trans in the
Mm-hmm.
2000s. If they were trying to be supportive, was literally just like, we don't know what the fuck this is, because there wasn't like a lot of like cultural
Sure.
osmosis in the way that people just kind of thought we were like a weird offshoot of gay people, like gay people had gone in a lab and like made a new kind of gay person, and that was us.
Wow.
And so it is, yeah, but like, I'm not going to sit here and say that like that gag doesn't leave like a bad taste in my mouth at the end
Sure.
of the
Of course.
movie, but also because I knew about it going in and then I saw it and I was like, this is much gentler than I expected. It's in
Yeah,
keeping with the tone of the film, which is a quite a gentle film.
I agree. I want to give a little bit of context for our listeners who might not have seen A Mighty Wind. In this hilarious backstage mockumentary, three eclectic, never quite famous folk bands come together for the first time in decades following the death of their manager to put on a reunion concert in his honor at the request of his son. For the members of the Folksmen, the new Main Street Singers, and Mitch and Mickey, time has not been kind. As the show approaches, apprehension sets in, romances are rekindled, and ambitions are permanently deferred. A Mighty Wind opened on April 16th, 2003 against Anger Management, Bulletproof Monk, Phone Booth, What a Girl Wants, and Bringing Down the House.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's a good time
All
at the
great.
movies.
Bringing Down the House, of course, a famous movie that has aged perfectly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh.
Another Eugene Levy movie, correct?
She
Yeah.
got me straight tripping, boo.
Oh my God.
Do you think if they did another AFI 100 years, 100 quotes, that would be in
I
there?
hope so. It should be. I mean, those are five movies. I mean, Anger Management was a hit. Phone Booth was like a mid-sized hit. I never saw What a Girl Wants, but I'm assuming the 12-year-old Carrie did.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yes. And Bringing Down the House. These were. I mean, Bulletproof Monk is the only one that I think was like a dud. That was the
I
only one
have
that didn't
never
get
heard of
nominated.
that movie before in my
Adam
life.
Sandler. No,
I
who's in that? It's Chow Yun Fat. Hold on, let me look it up. But continue, Emily. Sorry.
Adam Sandler. Your first go-to is Adam Sandler, and
Well,
then
because I think it's Adam Sandler and him. Forgive me.
uh,
No, it's not. Okay, continue.
yeah, I'm excited to find out. But
It's Chow Yun Fat and Sean William Scott. My apologies
I
to Adam Sandler.
saw. I do love that you got the wrong white guy. Like that that's socially acceptable. Um, I like What a Girl Wants is a movie that I watched because I loved Amanda Bynes.
Sure.
I wanted the best for her, and obviously reality cooperated there. Um, but my favorite thing, and we're never going to do an episode on that movie, or if we do, it's going to be like 10 years from now. But
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
my favorite thing about that is that the original poster had her giving the peace sign, and then the
Yes.
United States invaded Iraq,
Yep. And
and
then what
which
did it turn
a
into?
great another great decision that didn't go
Sure.
poorly. And they just
God.
erased her arm. She's just like in the final
Oh, they
poster.
just
She's
got
just
rid of the
kind
arm
of
Yeah. Her
standing
entirely.
arm
there.
is just
Like, yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
it's to her side now. Yeah.
But by the way, not to do a deep dive into the poster for What a Girl Wants, but
This is going to
why
be what they
can't you
put on
have a peace
Instagram.
sign during wartime, quote
Because
unquote? Like,
We can't.
we have to support George W. Bush, you know, that people
woof.
forget, like, especially now that we're living through an era when the United States has launched an unchecked war of aggression for no fucking reason, but like we're all against it, like the polling
Yeah.
is atrocious. People forget how crazy the mood was around the
Oh,
Iraq
for
war
sure.
and how much like bloodlust there was in the country. And it's
100%.
like that they changed the Amanda Bynes poster.
Because
Let's
she
have
was
her on
also
the
Freedom
show.
she was
fries.
like wearing a freedom fries. She was wearing
Yeah.
like an American flag shirt too, like
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
dazzled American flag tank, and she's in front of
She's in
two
front of
like
like the
guards, the
Mhm.
like
yeah at the Buckingham
hats,
Palace
the
with the
Buckingham Palace
yeah.
guards, and she's like,
What is Carrie just did a perfect impression of Amanda Bynes in the poster. I What's the movie about? Forgive me.
she discovers her mom is Kelly Preston, who is a wedding reception singer.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
And her mom reveals to her on her like 16th birthday or something, like I can't remember how it's revealed,
Okay.
but her dad is a British politician
Mhm.
and he's like running to be prime minister. Her dad's Colin Firth.
That sounds
Am I
Yes.
right.
right? Yes.
Yeah.
And she goes across the pond. I don't know why I did that.
It,
to like meet him.
Tip of the
I
hat
can't
to
remember
that.
like she breaks it like she breaks into the house or something like he doesn't know that he's her dad and he's getting married to like this uppity bitch and she has two twin uppity bitch daughters and they're like very posh and they're like and his campaign manager they're all like she's gonna ruin everything, this wild child from America, you had a child out of wedlock, and he's like well actually we got married in like a weird hippie ceremony, so we were
This is
married. But he's
crazy.
like, no, that's my daughter, and I'm gonna get to know my daughter.
It it is really you can see it started life as what if we took the Princess Diaries and made the
Yes.
stakes like 10% less dramatic. And like that made all the difference.
What
Also,
if the
is it
stakes
called?
were for the dad? No,
Yeah.
no
It's
real stakes
called
for
"What
the
a Girl
daughter.
Wants" because of the Christina Aguilera song. Because, like, I don't
I
know how that
guess
title
they do
connects
play
to what
that
it's about.
song. I do recall them playing that song in the movie, but I don't really know.
All right.
What a girl wants is a British politician for a father, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, that song rips, but so
she
so
just
A
wants to
Mighty
know her
Wind.
dad.
She just really wants to know her dad and go to London. A Mighty Wind would go on to make $18.7 million on a $6 million budget. A Kiss at the End of the Rainbow, which was composed by Michael McKean and his wife Annette O'Toole, was nominated for Best Original Song. It lost to something from Lord of the Rings,
Something
right?
fucking stupid. Yeah,
Oh,
Lord of the Rings,
Into the
stupid.
I
West,
do like
the
that song.
Annie Lennox song.
I like that song. I wrote the entirety of
Okay.
Gritty Explained at Vox.com to Into the West by Enya. And the original, or Annie Lennox rather,
Mhm.
Enya was the fellowship song. The original version of that article included a YouTube embed of that song and like long, lengthy quotations from the lyrics. And my editor was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
That actually sounds incredible, Emily.
This is an article about Gritty, and I was like, "Oh, you're right, it is."
I might have gone off book here.
You know, it remains one of my proudest accomplishments how unhinged that article is.
So,
It ends with
Emily,
yeah.
can you guess the other nominees for Best Song in 2003
Oh
by
my
any
god,
chance?
can I? All right,
Can
one
you?
of them is Rendezvous
Look at
Bellevue.
you. Fuck, I thought
Belleville.
that would be the tough one. Yeah, Trips to
There's
Belleville. Yeah.
My Ein True Love from Cold Mountain.
Yes.
And it's
Music and lyrics
another
by
Cold
Sting.
Mountain song, but I don't remember it. The name of it.
Scarlet Tide.
Yeah,
T-Bone Burnett and Elvis
I
Costello
knew
song.
that either Scarlet or Crimson was in the title, and I didn't know
Yeah.
the other word. And I should have known that since I thought it
You
was Crimson,
crushed
it was
that.
Tide, Scarlet Tide.
Good work.
I could tell you know what, I bet
Wow.
I could tell you any category that's not like documentary or something
In
in this
03?
in '03. Yeah.
All right,
If I
we're gonna do one more of these just
if I really had to.
because why not, right? Best I'm just gonna say original screenplay.
Best original screenplay. Lost in Translation wins.
It does.
American Splendor was adapted, so that wouldn't have been in there. Gosh, let's see what else came out that year.
It's actually kind of tricky.
Nemo's in there.
Nemo's in there. Yeah.
Nemo's in there. How many best picture nominees are in there? Just the one?
That is only Lost in Translation.
Okay, gosh, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
it's tough.
Yeah,
It's a tough category.
it's a tough category. Well, let's see. Are there any foreign language ones?
Yes, there is one French Canadian.
It's the Barbarian Invasions.
Correct.
Oh my
Um,
God.
let's see.
this is
Uh,
this is impressive.
yeah, give me another hint here.
There's this movie was nominated for best supporting actor,
Okay.
a Irish filmmaker.
Oh yeah. In America.
Correct.
That was my vote that year. I loved In
Really?
America. I love In America.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
The last one is tricky. He's become quite prolific, this
Yeah.
writer.
Uh-huh.
I believe maybe he's involved in oh my god, what's the show? With oh my god. My brain just completely lost. Cillian Murphy's in it. There's a movie coming out later. Peaky Blinders.
It's a Dirty Pretty Things.
Dirty Pretty Things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Good work, Emily. I mean, truly, I was genuinely
so
impressed.
dysphoric. All I could do was memorize Oscar slates. They're all still up there.
That's still there.
Hanging out.
A weird year. I think that A Kiss at the End of the Rainbow is lovely and wonderful. And I probably would have voted for it of those 5 nominees. I couldn't That
Yeah.
Annie Lennox song from Return of the King is not a song that I remember.
What
It's
do you
not
see on the horizon?
it's
What,
not my
what?
thing.
Yeah, you're not a Lord of the Rings person, I'm
I'm
assuming,
not a
right?
Lord of the Rings person, and I'm not an
Yeah.
Annie Lennox girl.
I
That
I
surprises
probably
me a little bit,
I probably would have voted Kiss at the End of the Rainbow, if I'm being perfectly honest. Although I would have been tempted by the Belleville song, which is a lot of fun.
which is
Like,
really good.
yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen Trips with Belleville?
No.
Carrie, you would really like it. It's like 87 minutes. It's like a French
Oh.
Canadian animated film. It's
It's
bizarre.
just
It's very
French.
good.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
just French.
Oh, is it just
What
French?
if
Okay.
what if
Okay.
Carrie, ask yourself this. What if French people were quirky? That
What if? A Mighty Wind has an 81 score on Metacritic from critics, a 7.1 from audiences, and a 3.7 average on Letterboxd. Roger Ebert only gave this film 2.5 stars. He said Christopher Guest's new mockumentary is about a reunion of three groups from the 1960s folk boom. In the film's final concert, the audience is indeed required to imitate chickens and horses. A lot of the movie consists of music, much of it written by Guest and other collaborators in the cast, and that is an enjoyment and a problem. The songs actually do capture the quality of the lesser groups of the time. There comes a point when the movie becomes, well, performances and not comedy. The final act of the movie mostly takes place during the televised concert and almost against its will takes on the dynamic of a real concert and not a satirical one. I don't know that I agree with that necessarily. The impression I got from this review, and I don't know if you read it, Emily, is that Roger Ebert doesn't like folk music. So
the
it really
impression
seems as though that bumped him.
the impression I get is that a lot of the critics either didn't like folk music
Mhm.
or found this was being taking the piss out of something they loved. And they didn't, so it's
Fair
like this
enough.
weird thing of like, it's not reverential enough. It's too reverential, that sort of vibe. Um,
Mhm.
I think I think everything that Ebert is describing as a complaint is a value add for me. And yet
Mhm.
it's also one of those criticisms where I'm like, yeah, this is not, if you mainline the Guest filmography and you go from Guffman to Best in Show to
Mhm.
this is really going to throw you. Actually, you'd have to watch Almost
Yeah.
Heroes in the middle, but like,
With a gun to your head.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
I
cut you
mean,
off, Carrie. Go ahead.
No, no, I think I cut you off. I was just, I, no, I agree. I think this is the one in the canon for me that is the most subtle. There's such
Mhm.
a, like, if you go in expecting really obvious satire that's like, that boldly announces itself, that's not what you're going to get. But I feel like it's so, like, as somebody who, again, made in a lab for Carrie movie, as somebody who has watched countless folk music and like Laurel Canyon era documentaries, it's so fucking accurate that it's like the satire is so incredibly subtle because it knows so well what it's just one of those things where it's like the line between satire and just like realism is so thin that I can understand why people are like, well, this is too reverential because it's not really making fun of anything. It's just being the thing.
Mhm.
I totally agree with you. I think there's something, if you look at Guffman or Best in Show, those characters are much closer to caricatures. And then you see this movie and you just have like old white guys in chairs being very serious about what they're talking about, that it doesn't, do you know what I that's not a negative, that's a plus, that, but it's just, I think that the world of folk music is just more grounded and less weird, if that
The
makes
I mean,
key,
sense.
it
the
is weird. It is weird. You just have to
Right.
like know what you're looking for. I wish I could
Right.
remember like there are specific examples like it's just little like little ways that they take themselves seriously both in these real documentaries and in A Mighty Wind and like recount stories and go on these long tangents of like we played at this club and that club and oh and do you remember like the way that they like capture the like way that these people tell stories or they're like oh do you remember what was his name like all
Yeah,
these
yeah,
people who were around forever ago and they have all these stories they only half remember and they're probably but they take it so seriously that to me is funny that they just know so well like how these
The
people,
cadence.
the
Yeah.
cadence,
Mhm.
how the cadence and the tone, like the cadence and the tone, they just really, really, really capture it. So the things, it's all in like the tiniest details rather than like a broad caricature.
I think I have a working theory of Christopher Guest films, which is that you can tell the tone follows how important Bob Balaban is to the plot. Because, like in Guffman, he's an exasperated guy, kind of off to the side. In Best in Show, he's closer to the center, so the tone gets a little more grounded. In this movie, he's not the lead by any means. But he's an important supporting player. The story only works if he's there. Like, he is core to the story. This movie is the Bob Balabanist of
The
Guest
most Bob
films,
Balaban.
and
I
I
agree with
love
that. Yeah.
Bob Balaban, so
He's
that's
great.
fine by me. But it is very much like it's much more wry than
Mm-hmm.
anything else, and I think what keeps it afloat and keeps it from descending into why should I care about any of this is the emotions of the character relationships are fairly strong, and the New Main Street Singers are fucking crazy. So like you like everything every time you're in that world, you're getting so many laughs because like all the like funny Jane Lynch is over there, Michael Hitchcock's over there, Fred Willard's over there. All the like really funny people are
Mm-hmm.
over there. So every time this movie needs a shot of comedy juice, it shows you Michael Hitchcock and Jane Lynch singing the colors in harmony, and you're like, okay, yeah, great. And then yeah,
It is first of all, I think it's Michael Higgins, right?
oh God, I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah,
I'm just John Michael Higgins.
I get.
But
Now I'm confusing white guys for
Hitchcock
each other.
is the guy who's running the venue, right?
Yes, listen, yeah,
Yes.
that's true. That's true. They both have
Okay.
Michael in their names. I confuse two
No, it's
white men
fair.
named Michael. I think give us
Michael
1 star on
Hitchcock
iTunes, please.
slapping the top of Bob Balaban's head when he's just like spiraling out about the lights is fucking incredible. There's also just to your what you were saying, Carrie, about like there's a throwawayness of like lines in this. Speaking of the Main Street Singers, Paul Dooley saying 10 years and 30 albums later, we disbanded. 30 albums in 10 years is just a ridiculous
They
amount of music.
they're so clearly based on the New Christie minstrel singers,
Mm-hmm.
and which why is minstrel in there? That's the thing I've never actually thought about
I
until
don't
I
like
just
it.
said it out loud.
Yeah.
But my mom had a bunch of albums by them growing up, and it was just like you'd look at the backs and be like this, like there were like 6 albums that came out in 1965.
Yeah.
I so watching this time, there were a couple performances that really jumped out at me. Um, I think this might be Eugene Levy's best work, like as an actor. I think what he's doing in this is is a real high wire act of a man who's done too many drugs and has been in a mental institution and has had sort of a massive psychotic break slash depression, but is also like really lovely and and just kind of is living in this brief kind of window of living in his past and just kind of enjoying this brief kind of sojourn into his past with Mickey. um I think I think there's a depth of like melancholy and love in his performance that I've never seen him do before or since.
No, I think
Maybe I'm
I think he's so sweet in this movie. And like the anxiety too that he has, it's like
yeah.
I mean, I think he has some really lovely moments on Schitt's Creek,
Sure. Yeah.
but I think this is love him in New York Minute.
It's
New
I
York
do.
Minute, also starring Andrea Martin. There and I think at Begley Jr. There were a lot of like
Is
there
that
were
a
a lot of
2000s movie?
is this a 2004 movie. We must talk about it at
We'll
some
cover
point.
New
That
York
was my
Minute at some point,
birthday
Emily, I'm
party
sure.
last year. There are a lot of like Second City and Christopher Guest people in New York Minute. It doesn't make
Really?
any yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay. I mean,
But
all right. I don't really
sure.
understand that.
But anyway, I do agree that I think this is maybe my favorite. If
He's
not,
just doing a thing that
he's
I really
so he's playing it as a character actor more than as a comedian. That's I think why it works for me.
Can we
It's
do the
funny, but he's not going after the laughs.
Can we do a miniseries that's the films of the Olsen twins, Amanda Bynes and Hilary Duff? Can we just
Yes,
do
do
that?
it. What are we going to call it though?
The
Olsen,
films of the Olsen twins, Amanda Bynes and
Olsen,
Hilary
Duff, and
Duff.
Bynes.
Olsen,
Sounds
Duff,
like a
and
law. It sounds
Bynes.
like a
Yeah,
law
2000,
firm.
like 2000 It Girls or something.
We
yeah.
could. I mean, what I would absolutely do that.
Do you remember that famous Vanity Fair teen
Mhm.
Hollywood
It's
cover?
raining teens.
Yeah.
We just cover all the movies made by those people, and it takes us a year.
It takes us forever. Yeah, I do think that Eugene Levy in this movie is also kind of like every now and then you realize that he was also kind of a player back in the day, like that line when he's sitting on the floor in the hallway where he's like, usually before a show 35 years ago would have been me and a chambermaid playing Find the Cobra. And I'm just like, these things that he kind of just like puts in there where you're like, Mitch's backstory is just fascinating. You know, he gets beaten up obviously to fight for Mickey's honor. It's something.
Mitch in my like again, I know that they are based on Ian and Sylvia, but there are so many parallels to Buckingham Nicks
Sure.
that in my brain I'm like, yeah, that's Lindsay Buckingham. Like lover boy and player with even the hair, lover boy player with anger issues, has a tremendous breakup, and then reemerges in his not elderly, but like his elder statesman days, like kind of like zened the fuck out.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Why it is like. I love how he delivers absolutely every line with the same cadence like this, but like the jokes and the sincere lines are delivered the same way, but he puts just the tiniest spin on either so that it does like really make you laugh when he delivers a line like the chambermaid one. But like also you like are like, I have looked for a god to find the right one when he talks about the rose is heartbreaking, and then his singing voice is just normal, which I think is funny.
Just totally normal.
It's so great. It's totally.
He has two lines in particular that I love. I would love to see this town in the autumn.
Yes.
When he's looking at the train.
I would make little leaves and sprinkle them. What is it? He like gets the town name like something Ville, and he's like, it's not Ville, it's town.
It's town. And then it's I feel ready for whatever the experience is that this will take us after the show. I'm sure it will be an adventure, a voyage on this magnificent vessel into uncharted waters. We will see sailfish jumping and flying across this magnificent orb of a setting sun.
Like the thing about the like, I would love to see Crabville in the autumn is the joke at first seems to be that you think Mitch believes that these trees are tiny trees. But then it becomes clear he knows what's going on. But also like the joke gets funnier from there because he knows what's going on, and also but he's also like ascribing to it a level of detail work that nobody in their right mind would ever pursue.
Can I also say that there's a behind the scenes thing that is amazing, which is that none of the trains worked like to shoot the scene. Like none of the trains work, so there's only one engine and it's being pulled by a piece of string from someone off camera so that it looks like it's practical effects. I think it's great that Crabville didn't work when everything was said and done. I also think that Ed Begley Jr. does not get enough love for his work in the guest movies. Like I actually think he's an MVP in a lot of ways in a lot of these movies. Obviously, we talked about how he's not good in For Your Consideration, but then again, nobody really is. But I do think that in this movie, he kind of just has one bit, which is to just use Yiddish phrases coming out of the least Jewish man that's ever been. And it's a good bit. I think every time he says it, it just makes me laugh. But I just think there's something. First of all, I just love Ed Begley Jr. I think he's just he seems like a lovely individual. I love how environmentally conscious he is. I follow his daughter on TikTok, and it's just lovely to see this family trying in their own way to try to make the world a better place, which is lovely. But he's very funny.
I went to like one of the like a TCA critics event for what was that show that had Splitting Up Together,
That
Better
sounds
Off.
right.
Yeah,
Sounds right.
that he was in, I believe, and he came up in what was then kind of an early electric car, and
Sure.
he parked right behind me, and I couldn't get out. So that's my Ed Begley Jr. story.
It's a great story. Love that. He blocked you in.
Yeah.
It's an electric car.
And the thing
Um,
is, like, I walked back to my car and was like, I can't get my car out, and I saw it was like a weird prototype electric car was buying. I was like, well, that's Ed Begley Jr.
There's only one guy who could own
Yeah.
that car.
This was like it was like at a
That's
horse
fantastic.
ranch in the middle of nowhere, so like he couldn't like take
Okay.
public transit there, which is normally his thing. So he
I love
probably was
that.
quite upset to have to be there anyway.
Oh, that's fantastic. So I want to talk Catherine O'Hara, Carrie, who I know was one of your gals,
My
and she's.
She's on my Mount Rushmore. Like
I mean,
on my Mount Rushmore.
Well, what can be said about her that hasn't been said? But I do think that we talked in Best in Show, Emily, and for your consideration, we recorded these out of order, but how she's able to imbue a humanity inside these characters that uh, are larger than life. I think Mickey is one of the more reasonable characters that she's played, but
More
she is
reasonable,
wonderful in
but
this movie.
I think it's such a bold and courageous, and then ultimately circles back to witty choice to play it straight
Yeah.
and to be like, this is a character actor part. This is, I think, like, there's not like she's mostly setting up Eugene.
Yeah.
She gets a couple laughs here and there, but like, there's so much sadness in her eyes in this movie and like wistfulness. And it's one of those performances where I feel like we never gave her enough credit for how well she could play drama, but also how well her sense of comedy could be informed by finding the tragedy in a character and and it goes into like how she's so good at playing delusion, like the tragedy of a delusional character of like, but seeing what is like sad or hopeless or pitiful in a character's life and playing that in a way that is like, this poor thing, we gotta laugh with them, otherwise we'll cry, but also you are going to cry and then you're gonna laugh and then you're gonna cry again, and sometimes in the same moment, but like, it's so, it's such a warm performance. It's an incredibly warm, it makes me cry every time. And now it like, I was
Sure,
sobbing. Like Phil, I texted you. I was
sure.
like weeping. And I
It's
always cry watching this, but this time like because it's so special.
it really is, and there's something very I mean, you said it yourself that like she's quote unquote setting up Eugene Levy's character, but there's also something in how sort of Mickey looks to Mitch as her rock, and that he's the talent, and that she's always just felt kind of like his sidekick in some way
Along
or
for the, where
another.
she said something like
Yeah.
along for the ride.
Or when she's like, I'll have the best seat in the house. Oh my God. It's just like, stop.
There's that part and like the way she like looks at him and kind of like there's a brief moment where she like wiggles her eyebrows and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, it's
It's wonderful.
it's so charming and so real. And I told you this over text, I'll never be able to watch it the same way after I read an interview with her where she was like, somebody brought that up and she's like, my sister said when she watched it, she was like, I feel like that, yes, that I understand that's Mickey talking to Mitch, but I feel like that's Catherine talking to Eugene. And she was like, oh, you when you're improvising, you literally don't think you are the character, but you use things from your life. And she's like, looking back at it, yeah, yeah, I pulled that in. And I was like, oh,
So, yeah, I obviously the two of them worked for many years on Schitt's Creek together, and obviously they were a comedy duo for many years previous to this and many years after. But um, yeah, I think that this might be my favorite duo that they've played together.
for sure.
Um,
For
but
me, yeah.
what do you think of the duo, Emily? Of
Like,
Mickey
yeah,
and Mitch?
I love them together. I've somehow made it this far into this. We record these out of
Mhm.
orders. I somehow made it this far into this to say that like Schitt's Creek just bounces off of me. It is a show that none of it has ever like. I recognize its quality. I
Sure.
begrudge no one their feelings on how much they love it, but like every time I've tried to watch it, I've like had to just like I've made it maybe. I've even tried starting in the middle because everyone's like season one's kind of a mess, and I'm like, okay, it's just there's a thing in that show that it just like it doesn't have enough conflict for me. So I think yeah, I think this is probably my favorite of their duos. Although Cookie and Jerry and Best in Show are pretty fun too.
They're
So
pretty fantastic.
yeah.
I mean, it is it is interesting. I don't disagree with you on the Schitt's Creek of it all, Emily. I mean, personally speaking, for me, when that show started to pop, I watched or tried to watch it, and I was just like, this is, with no offense to anybody involved in the show, but just it's. I grew up in Canada with so many shows like this, and admittedly, the cast was stronger in Schitt's Creek than the majority of the Canadian comedies that existed when I was growing up. But I just couldn't lock into it, and it just. And then I think it was 2 years ago or so, and I was just kind of looking for something that could be like just a nice distraction or whatever. And I was like, I'm going to try this again, and I actually did watch the entire thing. And it does get stronger as it goes, and then it just actually kind of ends on a weird shrug. But
I think it ends
yeah,
poor. I remember liking it a lot, like right before it popped off. And then I realized because I rewatched it after Catherine O'Hara died, and I
sure,
realized I didn't even finish the sixth season because I just was like, this show got so
it's not
earnest.
great. Yeah.
It just got too soft.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone's right in saying that the first season is kind of a mess, but I also think the first season is kind of the best in that it's like still has a little bit of like meanness.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, once David meets, forgive me, his boyfriend, I can't remember the
Patrick,
character's
it
Patrick.
just becomes so ooey gooey. Like
Yeah,
rewatching it, there were rewatching it. I would kind of fast forward through some of it and just be like, "Get me
it's.
back to Alexis. Get me back
I
to
was gonna say
Moira." Alexis
Alexis
and
and
Moira are
Moira
the
are
like
really the only characters that really
the
work
yeah.
for me. But yeah, I think that this movie and this relationship taps into something deeper and richer, the deep and sort of rich connection that Eugene and Catherine had together, and how well they played off of each other. Um, and it's the beating heart of the movie, really, right? Like, when people say that this is the sweetest or the most earnest or whatever, they're thinking about this storyline, obviously. um the Folksmen uh don't have a ton to do.
But I think that storyline is still relatively earnest.
The Folksmen one,
The Folksman
yes,
one.
yes, I agree. I love that
It's
their
the
albums are
thought of
called
like
Singin'
three
Wishin' and
guys like
Pickin'.
they have the like reunion, the
Yes, which is
annual
really
like
sweet.
summer
Yeah,
reunion, and it's just like three dads. Three
it's
dads
just three
showing up in
guys.
their jorts. Let's sit down and pick a little, play some music.
I love that all of their rehearsals are just in various rooms of the house too, where it's like they just
Yeah.
rehearse in the kitchen or they just rehearse in the living room. It is really great. The song that they get in their fight over, fight being a strong word for it, or they yeah, the Skeletons of Quinto, this somber song
Quinto.
about the Quinto, sorry,
Quinto.
Quinto, a song about the Spanish Civil War. It does sound, it sounds tough. It sounds like a tough one to play at a reunion show, but they're great.
I think that the joke there is always they're having these human tremendous fights, but they're like, I think we just should not. And like it is a I think it should not work because It feels so similar to Mitch and Mickey, but like the like kind style of conflict and also like what those characters are trying to resolve is so different. And I think like what is very smart is this movie feels like another one they really found in the edit. Next week we're going to talk about one where they tried to find it in the edit and it didn't
It
quite
doesn't
work.
work.
But their choice to really zero in on Mitch and Mickey as the heart of this story just pays dividends throughout because it makes the funny stuff funnier and it gives everything, when you get to that concert, it has a set of dramatic stakes that are very minor, but are present in a way that like a fake concert should not have. Why everyone in the world cared about these two people kissing on stage, I do not know, but
Change
I
the
think
world.
it, but I feel like they set it up as like it was I
Seismic.
like it's not side like I mean again like the self-importance, but
yeah,
like it did seem to me like it was probably a thing.
yeah,
And like I mean again the like Buckingham Nicks of it all. Like you would go to like the obsession with like Stevie and Lindsay of like oh my God, they hug each other at the end of the dance. Oh my God, like oh my God, what?
She's looking at him. Yeah.
She's
this
looking
is
at him.
yeah, this is just like it is another thing where I as a Gen Z person um just don't entirely understand boomers, to
Yeah.
some
Sure.
extent this movie
Yeah.
is like a boomer movie, which is fine, but
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, two people kissed
I,
on television, so what? I'm Gen Z, I'm cool, I kiss people all the time.
I think also one of the things about this movie that I think is to your earlier point, Carrie, about sort of the subtle sort of parody that exists in this because the genre of folk music is just a little bit kind of more subtle, right? There is a little bit of a, I don't want to say laconic, but like the performances are relative, like that's part of this genre of music, right? Like no one's really raising their voice, no one's really getting crazy, everyone's kind of at a seven. And that's why like I think that might have bumped people too, right? Like if you compare it to a Best in Show where like you have these like crazy characters that, if you Parker Posey's character, whatever, like everything's kind of dialed up to 11. Whereas this movie, they're sort of like, well, the folk world is a little too kind of crunchy granola and kind of normal. You know what I mean?
Normal, but also I think it's I think it's also like, to compare it to Guffman, it's like that play is bad. That
Correct.
Mhm.
show is bad. And the music here,
It's good.
it's good. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Like it's not saying it's not even like pretending that, you know, it really does make the case that it makes it believable that these folk people were successful. All of these acts were successful because the music is so like there are moments where in all of the songs where you're like this is kind of ridiculous and these lyrics are like so goofy, but then you double back and you're kind of like but that's kind of how like nonsensical some of these folk love songs and
Absolutely.
like like the all like the like folk epics and stuff like they were kind of like listen closely and you're a little bit like what the fuck are you talking about, but they
100%.
sound really good. Like I think that's the thing, like this it's the difference between Guffman is a bad like they all culminate in a performance. Guffman is a bad performance that thinks it's good. Best in Show is a crazy performance that thinks it's sane. But but A Mighty Wind is a sane production that knows it's sane and good.
Yeah, it's, I mean, folk music is such a storytelling troubadour type medium, right? Like all the songs are sort of telling you these stories, and to your point, sometimes you're just like, what's happening? Like, why is this happening? um but there is an earnestness to it that I think, you know for your consideration, one of the myriad of reasons that doesn't work is because they never really calibrate the movie within the movie. They don't really know sort of what they want to do with it. And we talk about this in our episode, but it really does feel like they're really locked in on this movie because I think they really understand how to make the songs good and also a little bit silly. And that modulation, like they just understand the dials of the thing within the thing better here than they do, I would argue, maybe in any of the other ones. Um, I want to talk about the Main Street Singers for a second, because I will say that, like, I don't quite know what to make of the witches thing. I think it's funny, but I wonder if it like is a little like just a little too
It
weird.
to me, it pulls me out of the movie. To me, I feel like it belongs in a different movie. But I also
Totally.
understand. But I also like, Emily, when you were like, when you need like a laugh, when it needs a shot of comedy, we cut to the
Yes.
main street. Like, I get that. I get
Mm-hmm.
that perspective. It's not my sort of. It's just. I think it's the thing for me is that I just have like a really hard block of I don't like Jane Lynch. I just find like there's such a like smugness
In general.
in general to her
Okay.
comedy that like kind of rubs me the wrong. It's and I want to like her, but I can't get past the like smugness and the like I know I'm being funny right now. I
Mm-hmm.
don't like when a comedian is like self-aware that they're being funny. And I feel like the witch thing is like it's such a bit that I'm like here's a weird here's a weird thing that we can do. It's
I know
my
what you mean.
and I know that I am in the minority, but like I just don't it is not my
I
kind of humor.
You're the exact right age to have been activated by Glee in weird ways, though. Like, just
I
like,
never watched Glee though.
but I mean,
but
like, the
yeah,
way it permeated the culture and like
yeah,
her whole deal
yes.
was like, obviously Jane Lynch was famous before Glee, but yeah,
Right.
yeah, like, I don't know. I don't know. That's my,
I don't know. I just
I
like I see it in like all of the guest movies where I'm just like I can't it just there's such a like there's a self-awareness that I notice that pulls me out of it, if that makes
I
sense.
it no, it totally does. I would say that what I think is good about Jane Lynch's humor is that there's just not a ton of it in the Chris Guest movies. Like there's kind of the perfect amount of it. Um,
Sure.
Glee, obviously, they went full tilt on that. Yes, Emily.
oh, nothing.
No.
Yeah, my ideal Jane Lynch performance is how they used her at the Oscars, where she's in like one
Yes.
bit
Yes. Yes.
and she just
Yes.
bombs in and like does a funny thing and then she's
Yep.
gone. I liked her. I liked her fine enough on Glee, but like that's a classic case of a TV show has a character that's popping and they just like
Oh yeah.
drive that into the ground and like,
Yeah.
you know,
She won an Emmy
Jane
somehow.
Lynch would show up in character as Sue Sylvester on like the
Yeah.
fucking Super Bowl,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah. It was. I mean, it was a crazy thing, and
let's turn this into a Glee rewatch podcast.
oh my
Why
god,
not?
imagine. I'll tell you why not. I don't want to.
I do.
Well, okay. You convinced me. I think that the new Main Street Singers thing works for me because I think John Michael Higgins is very funny in this movie. I think that he makes that stuff really work. There has been abuse in my family, but it was mostly musical in nature.
Mhm.
Is incredible. I was sent to bed with only dessert. I mean, like, just there's just and to your point, Carrie, that introduction where Jane Lynch is talking about how she used to work in pornography and like,
That part works for me.
okay, okay,
It's
okay.
after that that
Oh,
I'm
okay.
it's the
It's
introduction of the witch
it's
thing.
wink.
It's too yeah, it's the
Yeah.
wink thing is too it's too wink. It's
Yeah,
too
it's
like we know
for
we're
our
being funny
listeners.
now.
Wink is witches in nature's colors, a coven of modern day witches that worship the power of color. Um, it, it's it just feels it just tips it for me. I agree with you, Carrie. Like it's the one joke where I'm like, I see what you're doing here, and I'm not sure that it totally works. But did you
Because
like Wink,
It's
I
Emily?
just
one of my favorite jokes. Yeah, I love it. It makes
There it
me laugh.
is. I
It
saw it
makes me laugh.
coming.
No, I mean it is a thing I think every time I watch this movie. I'm like, does all of this break the verisimilitude of the movie?
Sure.
And I think the reason it doesn't for me is it
Mm-hmm.
is so clear the new Main Street Singers are a cult, but they never say it. Like
True.
Fair enough.
it's always like, oh, if you found out all these people lived on a compound together and like did human sacrifices, it would fit within the world of the film, but they never go that far.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're sitting like, the more it becomes clear that they're a cult like organization, the more I'm willing to roll with the crazier stuff, you know?
See, that's interesting. I guess I never thought about it that way.
You've never
Yeah,
been an evangelical
I
Christian.
was gonna say I haven't, so that's probably why it never really hit me that
All
way.
the all the backstories about like not only Jane Lynch but like Parker
Parker
Posey's
Posey, yeah,
character,
yeah,
I was like, yes, it absolutely, like the cult like thing checks where I'm like, I was like, it's cult like. I never made the connection that they are a full cult, but that makes sense. That
I
makes
think,
that they're like they don't say it,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, like there are a lot of vulnerable people
I
who
think
have joined the new Main Street Singers.
I think that the movie keeps it smartly ambiguous the degree
Yeah.
to which this is like a pseudo religious organization, but their social structure is very cult like. I think I just glommed into it because I grew up in evangelical Christianity and it's so
totally.
similar to that. And you find a similar thing of like damaged people who just want to like, you know, have a nice life, then fall into this world and like join a praise and worship team. Honestly, Chris Guest should make a movie about a praise and worship team.
Would watch.
Would
Yeah,
watch.
I know what you're saying though, Emily, in terms of yeah, I just never. I mean, I did not put that together because I did not have the context that you have that to sort of put those that sort of thing. But
Well, I'm the controversial brave one on this show. So
that's it. That's it. I do think that there is this. I mean, now that you say it's a cult, like that scene with John Michael Higgins where the other guy is like, I'd really like
The
to change my
vest.
clothes.
yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
you keep doing this well, and soon
Yeah.
you could wear clothes like we wear clothes.
It is like straight out of, and that's another thing is like I got super into weird Christian cult offshoots for a project I was writing a long time ago that I was like researching, and a lot of the stuff the new Main Street Singers do is like out of that playbook. I would not be surprised if John Michael Higgins like had some of that in the back of his brain when he was talking,
Yeah.
when he was especially sort of the vague implications that the new Main Street Singers like use sex as like a
It
recruitment.
seems
Like
that way.
it
Yeah.
it's all very cult adjacent in a way
Yeah.
that I think works because they never make it over it. If they made it over it, then the movie kind of switches genres.
Yeah.
But like it's there for you to like read into if you want to. And then
Even
Paul
just the
Dooley's just having a nice time.
Paul Dooley's having a nice time, but like even the photograph of the young Parker Posey when she was just like a street urchin, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Parker Posey is really underused in this movie. I don't feel like she really gets much to
She's
do as just a bummer.
underused in this movie, but I also kind of love, I feel, although I don't know, I feel like yes, it is a movie that probably found itself in the edit, but I also kind of love that she just loves being like playing with all these people, that she just shows up and she's like,
She's having a great
who
time.
knows, maybe she didn't even have a very big part to begin with. She's just happy to be there.
It
Yeah.
seems, first of all, her look is exquisite. There's a scene where she just has these like crazy pigtails and she's just like, she's tanned and just got her big, big smile. And she's like playing for kids in classrooms. Like totally. I don't have any problems with her in this movie. If anything, I wish that there was just more of her. I just feel like her character gets a little short shrift. That's all.
That's a critique of any movie with Parker Posey in it, though.
It's fair. That's fair. She is.
Dial up
She's
the
great.
Posey.
Although we had this discussion on our Best in Show episode, which is that Emily was not a Parker Posey person, or just was.
I'm indifferent. I don't
Yeah,
dislike her. I'm just indifferent to her. Like I've
sure,
liked her in things.
sure.
I certainly when she turns up in something, I'm generally
Yeah,
enjoy her
yeah.
performance. I just haven't. You rattled off a list of iconic Parker
I did.
Posey movies, and I'd seen like two. So like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, no, it's fair. So I we got to talk Fred Willard for a second.
What
Fred Willard, who
happened?
it's clear
so
to me.
Stupid.
It's so stupid. It's clear to me, maybe more than any other sort of guest cast member, that they just point cameras at Fred Willard and just say go, because like there's no he's just making shit up. Like the what happened thing where he talks about how he was the lead of this TV show and this sitcom in the 70s called What Happened, and something would happen and he would say what happened. I mean, my favorite is when he's like, we had lots of catchphrases like, I got a red wagon. And I think I was the first person to say, I don't think so. Like, it's just madness. It's just full on just absurdity.
I think another reason the new Main Street Singers work for me is generally I think the epilogue is the weakest part of this movie, which is part of why it
Yes.
kind of maybe doesn't have the reputation that I think it deserves. Is the flash forward kind of undoes a lot of the great work of the concert. However, the new Main Street Singers epilogue strongly suggests that Fred Willard built a time machine and like went back to like 1966 and like sold a TV show about folk singers who are also the Supreme Court. And because like it makes no sense within the context of 2003 America, but within a world where like Fred Willard is like someone who like saw an episode of the Flip Wilson show, was cryogenically frozen, and then woke up in the early 2000s.
The cutaway to Parker Posey knitting while being on the Supreme Court is tremendous. I mean, there's just stuff we're just like, what is happening? One of the things that, and we haven't talked about this yet, but it's worth talking about, the sort of the cutaways to album covers, the cutaways to movie posters, the cutaway to magazine covers that all the guest movies do, that just slay me. And this goes back to This Is Spinal Tap, because they had their album covers, but like Mitch's post breakup album covers of Cry for Help and Calling It Quits, where he's digging his own grave. I mean, tremendous. And Sunny
And
Side
period,
Up, where,
but also like period appropriate. Like I said, my whole little
yes,
the Buckingham Nicks
theory.
and Mitch and Mickey
Yes.
and
Your
the
wall.
Lindsey Buckingham go insane. Go insane. Mitch, what's his name? Mitch something. A cry for help. And he's in a straitjacket. Again, I'm like, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. That's the thing. It's so funny, but it's also so fucking real.
It does feel like there's enough knowledge of the history of what they're playing in, and if you are tapped into it, like obviously you are, Carrie, or rock fans were when they saw This Spinal Tap, they just feel like, yeah, this is 1 inch away from reality. But like the Main Street Singers album cover, the Sunny Side Up, and it's just their faces in eggs being grilled on a skillet. Like,
which is where I think they got I love that they just like kind of reused that bit though for your consideration.
Yeah.
Yes, they're all on balloons.
The
faces are on balloons.
That is not very far off New Christy Minstrel album covers, by the way.
God.
It's yeah.
This is so yeah. I mean, I feel like we haven't talked about this, Emily. Weirdly, I can't believe this hasn't come up yet in this series. But Documentary Now obviously was sort of doing kind of this stuff, right? In the sense that it was, each of their documentaries was modeled after a documentary. And I thought that show was great. I never saw every episode of it, but but what episodes I did see, I did quite like. And I do think that super niche lane of the person that just really loves Company, so we're just going to do an episode of Company, I think is great.
It kills me every time.
Did you like Documentary Now, Emily? Did you watch any of
I liked it. I like to find like I liked individual episodes a lot,
same.
And then I love the Company episode. I worked at a publication with a lot of people who were obsessed with that show, so I got a little like, it's pretty good, like.
I wasn't like in every episode, like the one, the Blue Jean Oyster Cult one, that is like note perfect replication of the Eagles doc.
Yes, I mean, and the Great Gardens one. I mean, like again, like they just the recreation of it was truly amazing, and I would argue is like almost 70% of the joke, quite frankly, was like, how well can we recreate this thing? So,
but I feel like that's kind of the vibe that I get from A Mighty Wind. There's so much affection in this one
Yeah.
It's not skewering the thing. It's like we love this thing and we also think this thing is funny, but I love it because
Yeah.
I love it even because it's funny.
100%. I think that, you know, there's it's a mixture of like a reverence for what they're, you know, mocking to some degree or another, also mixed with just them trying to do their crazy shit. You know, I think that like the Jennifer Coolidge, Larry Miller PR agency, what accent
What the fuck
Jennifer
voice is
is
that?
doing is what do you think, what country do you think she's from, Emily? Do you have any sense of where this accent is?
Latvia.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's wonderful when she's like, thank God for model trains. If they didn't have the model trains, they never would have got the idea for the big trains. It's a good bit. It's great. I respect it. I do think like even just like Fred Willard just going off on the deputy mayor that they didn't get the actual mayor, and how silently pissed off the deputy mayor is. Um, yeah, it's just, this movie is a lot. I mean, I think it might be the best calibrated one of all of them, quite honestly.
I think what is happening in this movie that
Yeah.
they hit it exactly dead on is
Mhm.
starting to happen in Best in Show, but is really hit dead on here and then totally like has gotten too far in For Your Consideration is the individual cast members of this are evolving in different directions in terms of performance.
Yes.
Like there like Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara, some of these actors are clearly like interested in using improvisation not just as a mode for comedy, but to get to like a deeper truth about people. And then like Fred Willard, Jennifer Coolidge, Jane Lynch, that corner of the universe is like, well, what's the wildest fucking shit we can come up with? And this movie, they all are kind of traveling just parallel enough to each other that it all works. And in Best in Show, they're mostly all doing kooky stuff. And here they're all on different tracks, but they're traveling parallel. And For Your Consideration, everything is like,
They're,
and I
yeah.
think that's why Parker Posey feels a little underused in this. Is she seems like she's interested in like I want to explore characters with more depth, but she's stranded in the part of the movie that is the craziest. So
I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
For Your Consideration feels the least uniform. It feels like everyone's kind of doing their own things, and it's very scattershot.
Catherine O'Hara is really good in that, though.
She's the standout for sure.
And I feel like that is a movie that I had not seen since it came out, and I rewatched it. And that is a movie that I feel like could have been so much meaner had her performance not been. It's pretty mean, but I think she makes that character not like not
palatable.
Nearly as like cruel. Like it could have been making fun of that character way more, and instead you like feel for that character.
I think it might be her best performance For Your Consideration. Yeah. Like she's really
I think it's right up there. It's right up there.
I think she's definitely top 5. Yeah.
Yeah. Top 5. Yeah. I mean, people were saying like when it came out, they were like, wouldn't it be crazy if she was nominated for this?
It was. She had legit Oscar buzz for that performance, which is insane.
But Mighty Wind is my favorite of them all.
Yeah.
I mean, of the guest movie, I can't pick a favorite. Catherine O'Hara performance.
Home Alone 2.
Interesting.
No.
Interesting.
I'm kidding. No, I mean, I would be hard pressed to pick one as well, because I don't know that there is, first of all, like a quintessential Catherine O'Hara performance. Like, I don't know that there's one that's like, she has like a Mount Rushmore of performances, right? Like, I think she's tremendous in Beetlejuice. She's amazing in Home Alone. Like,
it's the range. It's the range of, this is the kookiest, silliest, funniest. I cannot believe a person is this fucking hilarious and real. And then that same person is also just an incredible character actor who can...
It's also like After Hours, you know what I mean? Or
After Hours, or like... But can play, again, like... I mean, there are some really lovely performances in very, very terrible films, like, that don't exist, that are more, like, dramatic. Like, like TV movies and shit from like the
Yes.
90s that she's done, but I wouldn't.
I,
I
I,
mean, I
I
say this as somebody who is like, again, she's on my Mount Rushmore. I've watched
sure.
pretty much everything. The grainy VHS rips of, yeah, like a movie that doesn't exist from 1990 and like
The thing that
weird TV shows.
I feel like she never kind of gets mentioned for, and I loved the show, but I loved her in, I mean, she was great on 6 Feet Under. She had like a 3 episode
Yes.
arc on 6 Feet Under, and she was really wonderful and was doing, her manic thing, but was also super grounded. And like, I thought she was tremendous on that show, and I feel as though like no one talking about that, but that's fine. But I think she's wonderful. I also think too that like she's wonderful in this movie. She's heartfelt, she's funny, she's great. But then she'll also throw away a line like when Mitch goes missing, and she's like, "Is there a cockfight arena around here?" Like where you're just like stuff like that. That just I love that when Mitch goes missing and Mickey just wants to go home and make a tray of Nanaimo bars, which is such a deep Canadian reference, I think is hilarious to me. I don't know if anyone knows what a Nanaimo bar is, but if you look
I
them up,
do.
they're of course,
I
well,
do.
of course you do, Emily. But they're the sweetest thing you'll ever eat. They'll rot your teeth right out of right out of your jaw. But yeah,
I had one the last time I was in Vancouver, and
did you enjoy it?
I didn't like it very much. I was like,
Yeah, no, it's not good. Don't eat them.
it's a little too much. But you know what?
It's
I kind of want one again. I kind of want one.
Yeah, I really do think that this movie ends with the concert, obviously, and everyone singing. I love the song "A Mighty Wind." I love that it ends with "It's blowing peace and freedom. It's blowing you and me." I just think it is just a perfect. I remember
That's a
people
song that gets
howling in
stuck
the
in my
theater,
head.
but it's a good song. But it's a ridiculous song, but it's great. Yeah, I mean,
It's
obviously,
like if I had a hammer.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're like, I'd hammer freedom. You're
Carrie,
like, what
which
the
songs
fuck
did
does
you
that
put on your
mean?
mix on your playlist
My
recently?
spring mix has "When You're Next to Me" by Mitch and
Sure,
Mickey.
sure. Yeah, no, yeah, rips. I when they kiss, it's obviously just the sweetest and
I
loveliest
cry
thing.
so hard. Still,
It is. It's really beautiful.
it's
I really
so
do.
beautiful.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. It's wonderful. I don't know what to say other than that. Like,
Their performance of it at the Oscars too, in
I haven't
character.
watched it. I need to watch it. I haven't watched it. I mean, I saw it when it aired,
Again,
but I haven't
like
watched it since. But
it makes me cry. Like it makes me cry every time, but it's somehow even more like it's so funny that they show up in character, like that they do it in character, but it's also just so you lock in immediately and you're like, "Oh yes, it is these two characters." And I can't like this like the stakes are all there again
so high.
at the Oscars, but like you're so like this is so sweet and so
I also
earnest. And they do the whole like are they going to kiss or not kind of thing. But
did they
also
kiss?
again, yes, they kiss, but it's like that's even more like tension. But
I
Do you
I
think
also
Peter Jackson understood that? Do you think he was sitting there like, what? What is
he's
happening
like,
right
what
now?
the fuck is this?
but
I
also like oh
Yeah.
sorry.
No, please go.
But again with the music like it's just so insane to me how crazy talented everybody in this movie is that everything all the music was done live.
Yeah,
They're all like insanely brilliant and that like they have no business being that good of musicians. I like also on top of it knowing how to play the auto harp. Are you fucking kidding me?
that is the thing about like I didn't know that that John Michael Higgins was a professional musician, right? Like I didn't know that these people not only being as funny as they are, but that they are all so musically talented is crazy. I also think that the fact that this movie is able to have its cake and eat it too with the Mitch and Mickey thing, which is that we get the kiss, We get to have this moment where these two people clearly reconnect, but then they don't end up together, and they both have completely warped perspectives of each other's on the relationship. Is perfect. Like Mitch is just like, I think she's a little bit too into me, and her being like, yeah, I think he's too. Like, I just think it's great. It's a perfect way to end it. It gives you a laugh, and also they're not together, but then also her playing at the
Sure,
oh my god,
flow, sure. And but she genuinely thinks she's back at, like, that's
I
the,
know.
again, like the quintessential
It's
Catherine O'Hara delusional character. Like you get it at the very end where she's like, I'm back in the music business now. I'm back. Like I kind of actually like being in the music industry. And you're like,
uh, it's
oh,
so
you
sad.
poor baby. Like, poor thing. Like, oh my God,
It's
you genuinely think this is,
the
it's such
beginning
a
of something.
pathetic
Yeah. Yeah, I
display.
mean, obviously being married to a man whose job is making um catheters is depressing in its own right, but I do love when she's like, maybe this is dessert talk. When he's talking about like bowel movements and urinating anyway. But yeah, it's great. Yes, Emily.
This movie answered another long time question for me, which is what
Oh.
song did I walk down the aisle to at my wedding? Because I forgot. It was Potatoes in the Paddy Wagon by the New Main Street Singers. I
I
didn't
hope
actually.
that's true.
Stop.
That would
No,
have been incredible. Potatoes in the Paddy Wagon is a great song. I mean, is it your favorite song in this movie, Emily? Do
no, my
you think
favorite song in this movie is Loco Man. Uh
so? Clearly.
I actually really like Never Did No Wanderin', but I like the
I do
version.
too.
I like the version the New Main Street Singers sing.
Oh, interesting.
That sounds like a Christian praise band. Like I can't escape
Yeah.
that part of my DNA.
Yeah, it does. It does. I love the folksmans in the green room listening to Mitch and Mickey singing, and like Michael McKean being like, "Oh yeah, I remember this song.
It's the pretty one.
I wonder how they're gonna handle that." It's pretty. It's yeah. It's just it's great.
I think that's such a sweet, again, like such a beautiful moment in an otherwise, again, like, we keep saying that this is a very earnest film that has its heart on its sleeve, and a lot of that comes from Mitch and Mickey, but I do love that at this moment it comes from everybody because they're all like, wait a second, we all remember this beautiful moment and we all want to like witness this.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah.
It's a unifying moment that brings everybody together. They're all like, are they going to do it? It is a very like it's very touching. This is the thing I think maybe the reason that I think this movie works the best for me is there's a real sense of community. Like I know that Guffman's community theater, I get that, but like there is a bond that all of these people have over a love for a thing, as opposed to Best in Show, which is a competitive situation, Guffman, which is just whatever. And for your consideration, this is the only one that feels like an actual thing that they all collectively love. Like even if there is a little bit of friction about what was the name of the song, Emily? Ain't got no wandering, going wandering. What is it? I was a wandering.
Never did no
Never,
wandering. Yeah.
never did no wandering. There's some friction because the Main Street singers do it first, and the folksmen were planning on doing it, whatever. But like they move past it, and it is what it is. And like everyone being brought together to see whether they'd kiss or not, it's just great. It's. I mean, listen, it's a great movie. Let's rate this movie, shall we? Emily, do you want to go first?
Oh, thank you, Phil. You really just are letting me take control of the
Take the
podcast.
wheel.
Yeah, I think this might be Guest's best movie. Torn between this and Best in Show. I think Best in Show is more consistent. I think I prefer kind of just the tonal variation of this one. I don't remember what I gave Best in Show. I'm going to give this one a 90 though. It just
Ooh,
feels
okay.
nice. It feels like a nice right down the middle 90.
Perfect delivery, Emily. Crushed it. Carrie, what did you think of this movie? What did 12-year-old Carrie think of this movie? And what does present day Carrie think?
12-year-old Carrie thought it was funny. 12-year-old Carrie was definitely like I knew who Catherine O'Hara was at that time, but I don't think but even then I still don't think it was like, oh, normal
No.
12-year-olds would be like the mom from Home Alone. No,
Yes. Yeah.
I knew her from something else. I know. Like again, Mandela Brain. I thought for sure I had seen SCTV by then. I had not. Anyway, maybe this was my entry to Catherine O'Hara, and I was like,
Might have been. You don't
I
know.
need to see everything she's ever done, which was very common for me in my teens. Um, you see an actor and you're like, I need to see every single thing they've ever done. Thought it was funny, liked it, but again, like I was 12, so a lot went over my head, obviously. I think now, especially like how deeply saturated I am in all of the like folk and Laurel Canyon docs, I will watch any of them, all the PBS American Masters specials, all of them on YouTube in 320 pi or whatever, like 240. Like I'll watch it. I think now that I have that even like deeper saturation of it, I appreciate this so much more and I appreciate the level of detail. I would say this is like a 95 for me.
Yeah,
It's like small things that take away. It's just small bits. It's the wink that doesn't quite work for me. It's the way that the joke that it lands on at the very end that like is such a bummer that I'm like, "Ugh, if they just didn't have that,
Mhm.
sure.
like
It's a good joke
otherwise
and they were right to do it.
it's a near perfect movie for me.
Yeah, I saw this in 03, and I'd be lying if I said that I liked it fine. It didn't completely, forgive me, blow me away. I just kind of was like, okay, I like this, but I didn't get as many laughs out of it as I did Best in Show, a couple years previous. Rewatching it recently and rewatching it for this, I'd say in 2003 I was probably like a 75. I think now I'm at like a 90. I think it's a really I think it's a really lovely movie. I think that um it feels the most sort of fully formed. Even if I think Wink is Wink and it's kind of doing what it's doing, and I appreciate what Emily said about the connection to the cult stuff. I had not put that together, so that definitely helps me on the Wink stuff. But yeah, I think I'm at about a 90. Um, but question for you, Carrie, since you're so well versed in folk music and such. But what do you think the connection between Joni Mitchell and Princess Peach is? Do you feel like there's a
Well,
connection there
they're
somehow?
both singular talents. They're both
did,
in
did
a
you
league
see
of their
this, Emily?
own.
I'm assuming you have no idea what we're talking about right
No,
now.
we talked about this yesterday when we
Oh,
recorded
did
the
we?
for
Oh,
your
I'm
consider.
sorry.
Well, we talked about it in the run
I
up. We
totally
didn't talk
remember
about it on the
that.
program. So
Oh, yes, yes,
yeah.
yes. Yeah, they are singular. I do. I
You
God
can't
bless
touch
her.
them.
God bless Anya for trying to find
That is some PR training
My name is
at work.
Anya, Phil. Anya
sorry,
Taylor Joy.
sorry,
That's my
Anya.
name. Yeah.
Anya, my apologies. Yeah, it is. It's an incredible moment. And it's I God bless it. Um, Carrie, you're working on a new book. Are you allowed to talk about your new book?
I mean, I
No,
am. There's not much to talk about. It's about
you don't
John
want to.
Cassavetes and Jenna Rollins.
Well, that's exciting. That was what I was
It
trying to
is,
get out of you
I
as
mean,
well.
yes, that I can, I'm not very, I'm not as far into it as I should be right now, but
I
if
wasn't
you're my
trying to get you
editor
back
or
to work.
my agent, don't listen to this. That's not true. Everything is great.
Carrie just
I'm
showed it to
working
me and it's
so
basically
hard.
done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I heard
Yeah.
it was done.
Mhm.
That's what's
Yeah.
weird.
She's just polishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
your editor's listening. No, I can't wait for your new book. Do you have a I want to ask you this, but I was going to say, like, do you have a title that you're kicking around? You don't have to tell me what it is, but do you
It's
have a
just
general idea?
Cassavetes and Rollins. I'm keeping it. I got, look, I had a mouthful of a title for the first
You
one.
did. You did. Yeah.
We're keeping it
Keep it
mad
simple.
simple
Yeah. Keep it
this
simple.
time.
Well, it's going to
I
be great.
checked, and neither your editor nor your agent are listening, but you know who was listening? Jane Lynch, and she's very sad now. So
But you can't wait to read your book.
She did follow me on Twitter for a while, and I was like, that's so
Ooh,
random. Like back when Twitter was like,
a thing. Yeah.
back when there were celebrities using Twitter, and you were like, oh, a
Yep. Yep.
verified person followed me.
Yep.
And I just remember being like, why would Jane Lynch follow me? What did I do? Like, I was just like, I didn't have
I love
anything
that.
funny.
known normal man Adam Baldwin followed me, and would occasionally DM me articles to be like, here's what you can do in a debate. Anyway, I don't know why that happened.
I love that. That's so weird. Yeah, I actually, I guess it's sort of similar, less toxic. I don't know him as a person, but Ed Zwick followed me on Twitter many moons
He
ago.
follows me on Blue Sky and occasionally replies to me, and I'm like, Ed
Same.
Zwick, are we
I would be
friends?
like, what are we doing, Ed? I don't know you.
He got
But anyway.
he got very excited about a novel idea I shared once. I was
There
like,
you
you
go.
got to write this. And I was like, okay.
Okay.
Do I know
I was
you?
joking, but Ed Zwick, for you, anything.
Yeah, it's something. It's like a thing he does, I guess. Yeah. It's yeah, that's amazing. Well, I hope Jane Lynch follows you on other social media, Carrie. I think that'd be
No,
great.
she
for you.
absolutely does not. And if she did, she would unfollow me after this episode.
Jane, we know you're listening out there.
Oh yeah,
And,
Jane, you're listening.
come on the
Come on the
pod.
pod.
Come on the pod. Talk Southland Tales. We
Yeah,
got it coming
please.
up.
It'll be great. Carrie, thank you so much for joining us, talking about A Mighty Wind and Catherine O'Hara.
Thank you.
And yes, this is out of order, so we're
I
we're
didn't
saying
cry.
goodbye. I got actually a little emotional at one point. You didn't. You're just you and Emily. I've never seen Emily. Emily doesn't have tear ducts.
I thought I was going to cry like through all day today. I was like, you gotta hold it together. Don't cry on the podcast.
Yes.
I cry so much more now than I used to, but I have it's all like child related.
I was gonna say, yeah.
So yeah, like if
stuff.
Even a movie I don't particularly like, if it's like, oh, the kid and the parent are reunited or something, I'm like, oh yeah, that is how it is with your.
I actually recorded an episode yesterday with Bilga Abiri on Saving Private Ryan, and we both cried. Just speaking of crying, so that happened. So people have that to look forward to. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever. It's the world's a dumpster fire. You gotta. The valves need to be released somehow, one way or another. But Carrie, you're the best.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. You're the best. I don't know. What am I supposed to say to that?
Be great. You'll come back. Hopefully, we'll talk about something else in the future. Yes, Emily?
Can I ask a question? That's an editorial question for my newsletter. just getting some perspective here. I have to go write a novel, but I do have. Yeah. Is Parasite a horror movie?
I don't think it's a horror movie. I think it's got thriller elements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I maintain it's not. My managing editor thinks it is. We're listing all the horror movies to be nominated for Best Picture. And she says that it and Silence of the Lambs are basically the same genre. And I think Silence of the Lambs is over some intangible horror line that Parasite is not. I think it's because Silence is in Clarice's perspective. I think that's what it is in my mind.
Also, one of them's a cannibal. Like
right. I do like the big twist in Parasite is horror adjacent. Like it is a pretty.
You mean when they're living in the basement?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, listen, Bong has made horror movies, so to say that Parasite isn't tinged with horror, you could say that, but to say it's the same as Silence of the Lambs, I think is crazy.
It's a genre mashup that has horror in there somewhere, but I think it's not the predominant element. Yeah. So yeah, my managing editor is wrong. She's fired.
Yeah, fire her. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.